About 4 years ago, we broke one of my very favorite bikes, and it's been sitting ever since. This is a 1924 Harley-Davidson factory half-mile racer. I built this bike when I was, let me see, 2010? How old am I? 43. Okay. Yeah. I built this bike in 2010 to race for a 2011 season and have been racing it almost ever since. Raced the bike for about 10 years. It's no brakes, it's no clutch, direct drive, tiny little short chassis, ultra short wheelbase, low seat position, what we call a board track bike. Hand built right here in the shop, restored from lots of original and some reproduction parts. One of the things I'm most proud of is that engine. It is absolutely potent. At the time, it was one of the hottest motors that I could build, and we've had tons of great racing success with this motorcycle ever since. Now here's the thing. Last time this bike was out on the track, our pal Hobo Bill was making laps. We were at the Sons of Speed race. Won in practice, won the heats, won the next heat, got into the main, the final race there, and we're neck and neck and running it out with eBay Jake, and we ended up breaking a push rod, and the bike's been sitting ever since. So today's the day, hopefully, that Chris and I can get this fired back up. We've actually got a really cool secret project that we're working on, which we can't tell you guys about right now, but that's coming up real shortly, and hopefully you guys might see on TV, that involves this bike and some other really cool machines. So the task today, because we got one day only, is to get this thing fired up and going. I sure don't want to show up without a bike to race. So what do we got? We got push rod, and I was actually looking through the stuff, and look at this. This is what we got. A JD Harley push rod is this little skinny thing here. A JDH, the 2-cam, much beefier, tubular instead of solid. And what I did for this bike, being that what we're doing, guys, is we're taking these motors and making them sing, and we're giving them crazy modifications to be able to actually make them go, guys. You know, 2,800 RPMs, these things were made to do back in their day, and we're trying to touch 5,000 or so nowadays and make much more horsepower. So big spring tension on some of these intake valve spring pockets here, and you need a better push rod. So flashback to when we were racing, what I actually did was took a combination of these tubular push rods and this original style push rod, and took the tubular deal, made an adjuster here, and basically stacked one of these on top of the tube. Well, as you can see, my design failed miserably. On the last lap, mind you, we lost by a bike length, maybe.
Here's the crazy thing, is like, he was so far ahead that even with losing that push rod on the last lap, it took eBay all the way to turn 4 before he ever called it. Running on one cylinder.
Lost by a wheel or a bike length. I can't remember.
Crazy.
I can remember clear as day. So anyway, so what we're gonna do today, guys, is actually try and find a push rod. I don't know that I'm gonna go remake the tubular deal, and we're just gonna see if we can get this thing cranked up and running and ready for the track. So Harley-Davidson JD, guys, was produced really from the beginning, the pocket valve engines, but starting with the twins, 1911 all the way through 1929. I think they called them J's starting in maybe 1916 or 17. 61 cubic inch pocket valve, what we call intake over exhaust. So your intake valve here operates on the push rod. With a rocker arm, intake valve opens down. Exhaust valve here opens up. It all happens in this little pre-combustion chamber over on the side of the bore here. So technically it's a side valve. It's not a flathead. Kind of compression limited, but you can really make great power out of these things. So we're gonna probably go ahead and use one of these 3 push rods to get this guy set back up. You know, running without a push rod, you know, you're running top RPMs. Yeah. He's running almost 95 mile an hour. Push rod breaks, all of a sudden, you're not opening the intake valve. Mm-hmm. Big stress on the engine, running on only one cylinder. I'm hoping that no damage occurred other than that push rod. Yeah. And as long as that's the case, it ought to be pretty quick and easy to get this thing fired up and going. Now, one of the things, guys, I want to show you about what makes this motor sing so good is starting with the top end. This engine has what we call Ricardo cylinders, and there was internal combustion pioneer Harry Ricardo that designed a special combustion chamber for Harley-Davidson's pocket valve racing engines that allowed them to get much higher compression. So looking in this cylinder here, you can see the roof of the bore here. Now this particular cylinder is one of the hot racing cylinders. Let me find a standard. Here we go. Okay. So inside, guys, you can see in here, you've just got a real gentle sloped combustion chamber. You see how the combustion chamber starting over from this side just really gently slopes from the pre-combustion chamber side over here where the intake, exhaust valves, and spark plug are, compression limited. And what they did here with the Ricardo combustion chamber is they actually lowered the ceiling. You see the big flat part in there. They basically dropped that ceiling right towards the piston, created a trough down over here on this side of the bore, which directs that combustion right at the center of the piston. A pretty big improvement from, say, like a 4.5 or 5 to 1 compression cylinder up to I think you're probably 8.5 to 1. You really make a lot of squeeze there. On top of that, you're running a taller intake pocket, the big intake port on the 61 cylinder. So these are rarer than hen's teeth, guys. This is such a rare cylinder. Now the lower end, also really, really cool. First off, you can see what is in a typical, wheels through time racing engine. We run the big modified cams. All gears are drilled and lightened. Check these little tiny flywheels out. So them flywheels normally fill up that whole engine case, right, all in here. And what we've done is make those suckers so super light. Light flywheels, quick RPMs, much, much snappier engine. On top of that, it's all ball bearing. Every secret we could put into one is right in this engine. So we're gonna go ahead and the first thing we're gonna do is spin this over until we get the valve down, Chris. Yeah, intake push rod is now down. Okay, let's try this. Here we go. We're gonna push this valve down and see if I can slip that. Can you see down there? That's what we're going for. Ready? Oh, get in there. Oh, okay.
That's a perfect.
Yeah, perfect adjustment almost. It's a little bit loose. And we'll drain the lower end and see what we've got for oil. Well, you ought to have about 4 ounces of oil in there. The thing's been sitting forever. So if there's only 4 ounces, I'd be impressed. Let's adjust this push rod here. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay, push rod adjusted. A little gas. Done?
Yeah,
still draining a little.
Yep.
There we have our gasoline. Okay.
Now, Steve, probably now is appropriate time to put a warning on the screen to tell people to make sure their television volume is adjusted appropriately for the roar of this machine.
Hand oil pump. So we're going for 3 big pumps. 1 pump, 2 pumps, 3 pumps. Okay. So let's turn the fuel on. How many kicks is the question? I think, well, this one's a no kick start bike. It's no brakes, no clutch.
How many wheel pulls?
How many wheel pulls? The only way we can start this bike, well, we could take another bike and go wheel to wheel. So hopefully we don't have to do that. We're gonna try and spin this thing. Now, it's got a lot of compression and it's geared pretty low. I don't know how many oh, there's gas in there. Oh yeah, we got plenty of fuel, plenty of fuel. Okay, so we're gonna preset this throttle here and give it some pulls and see if we can fire it up. Ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, we're right at front cylinder. Ready?
Yep.
Nothing. Whoo! Whoa. Okay. Ready? Here we go. Ooh. Nope, that's a... Yo!
What was that?
That's the rear cylinder. That sucker stopped, didn't it?
Like, that was weirdly bizarre.
Okay, it is still moving. Oh my goodness. Up. Okay. Well, that's what I was worried about. Push it on the lift. Okay. Well. Wow. Okay. Now I'm starting to feel like it's damage to the rear cylinder from the push rod. Falling, breaking, running a full lap. No telling what sort of damage we did. That was not my favorite experience. Well, you know what though? It's better on the rear stand than on the track.
Yeah.
You know, because that would have...
Oh yeah, because you'd just immediately
yeah.
go down.
Okay. I hate to say it, man. We got to pull that engine out. Okay, here we go. Sunglasses are coming off for this one, y'all. Here we go. The first time I've had a motor soft seize on me like that. A little bit nervous as to what exactly caused that. We're just gonna start disassembling. Definitely unexpected scenario there. We've got what I thought was gonna be a fire it up and take it to the track scenario, and now it's resulted in a pull the motor out of the chassis. And
well, the good news is we got the motor nice and hot before we work on it.
That's a good point. Always a good idea. Okay, so Chris, what we've got to do now, we can just set this here. Let's pull those exhaust pipes. We're gonna end up pulling this plate here. Hopefully we didn't do too much damage to the cylinder. I hate being behind the 8-ball. Okay, you got that whole plate ready to come off?
Yeah,
other than this nut?
Other than this one, yep.
Yeah, okay. Okay, whole plate is off. You guys can see how this frame works. Well, this is what we call a keystone frame. The engine is a stress member of the frame. There's no belly down here of the frame, so the engine is the only thing tying the frame together. Proprietary exhaust setup here. Now I am gonna loosen the intake deal off, and then we've got 2 clamps, and that's a 13/16 wrench. There's a handlebar.
There it is. Once per show, guaranteed.
I don't know how you do that every show and I never do it. Is it because you're only like 4 inches taller than me? God, that was not the coolest thing. Watching the thing
just stop.
Yeah, just stop like that.
And it, you know, like, because you did it, it was like no rev down. It wasn't like,
yeah. No, it just decided it was gonna grab. We shall see. Yep. Okay. Over to the bench. Oh, now tip it up. Yep. Okay. Great. Get in and see how bad it really is. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. So here's what we gotta do is we gotta get that push rod out. And the only way I can think to do it is for me to stand up on that table and push down on this. And you pull the push rod out from the bottom. Ready?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Base nuts are 100 years old, man. Ready? Yep. Yep.
It's like the unknown.
The unknown.
It's like, what are you gonna see?
What are we gonna see? I was checking, like, neither one of them feels any hotter than the other.
No, they feel the same.
That's the weird part is like, Is it a broken ring or something? Like, I'm hoping we didn't trash this cylinder, you know? Because then we're showing up with no bike. Okay, we're gonna try and work that out, but you don't want to force it out. It's not there yet. Okay. It is the rear cylinder that's stuck. Oh my God, it's hot. It's hot. Yeah, yeah. Here, hold that for a sec.
Yep. I don't know what you're talking about. This thing's not.
Wow. Rings are doing a good job.
That doesn't look like the hot one. No, that's not it. Ooh, ooh. Oh, it's the crank. What? How did that tighten up? We had oil in the bottom, didn't we?
Yeah, she put oil back in. Yeah.
Bruh. Let's drain that. Yeah, that sucker had oil in it.
Yeah, because you did 3 pumps.
Yep.
Just like that.
2, 3, that's 4 ounces on the nose. 3 pumps is 4 ounces. That's exactly what we need in there. So why did the crank tighten up? What? And yeah, because look, that rod should be hanging over here.
The edge, yeah.
And the rings don't even look that bad. There's a little piston scuffage. What happened? Well, apart the whole thing comes. Dang it, man. That's freaking good seal.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Look at this. That makes me really happy because that means my top end is doing everything it's supposed to do. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Wow, not a lot of carbon. Okay. Man, I can't believe we tightened that crank up. I cannot believe we tightened that crank up. Hopefully it's a hone it with some new bearings. At this point, it's like, man, I love this crank too. I'm not swapping the crank out. But maybe I do, man. I could just yank the crank right out of that motor for expediency. Oh, yes. That's the good stuff. And maybe, no, they're still tight. Here. Look at this. It's not supposed to do that. The rods are weird though. I don't know what would have made it do that. I mean, we'll see when we, exactly what it was. We know it had plenty of oil in it. It's like, all right, we're gonna fix this. We're gonna tune it up for the race. Little did we know, you can't take a motor any further down than we're taking this one. The sprocket and the pinion are slick as grease. So it's the crank pin, undoubtedly, and it's only the crank pin because this sucker is ball bearing on this side and Torrington on this side, and you can see they're super free, and these rods are what tightened up. So, okay, nice. Oh, dang. What is that even from? So I don't know what happened, but that just happened. I would wipe it,
Carb cleaner.
carb cleaner, and then hose the bearing and make sure that's slick. We got, look at those, nice crank. All right, moment of the truth. Oh boy. Holy, ooh.
Ooh.
Hello. Oh my God, dude. There's like bearings turned sideways in there.
Holy cow.
That's what happened is we heated those cages up so much they just freaking failed. I could take that whole lower end and bolt it in and just... Because this is gonna take... I don't even know if I trust these rods now. Wow. Wow. This is what I was fearing. Oh, it's free. Put it back together. Never even seen anything like it. And the bearing cage is just gone.
You know what pistons don't make good employees? Because they don't work till they're fired. There was no reaction. He's in the focus.
Pretty good.
Pair of jumper cables, walks into a bar. Bartender looks at it, says, "Okay, I'll serve you, but you better not start anything."
This guy.
Had a dream the other night. I built a wooden motorcycle. Wooden wheels, wooden frame, wooden engine, wooden seat.
Wouldn't run. Man, I've been racing that motor for so long. That one's set up though. Means we got to take the pistons off of this, put it onto that. It's a 22 though. And 22 is my lucky number. All right, we're gonna build it all right here. Let's go. What we're gonna use, guys, versus what we're not gonna use. We're swapping engine cases, and this is, normally I wouldn't do this. I'd just rebuild this, but I'd actually will have to order the parts. So we're on a time crunch, and that lower end is almost ready. So we're gonna use exhaust lifters. Those came out of our old motor. We're gonna use intake lifters. That came out of our old motor. Using this special reground cam. We're gonna use the crankcase vent fitting from our old deal. Now, this is a decompression plate here. This is a nice one, but the decompression plate oftentimes has to be modified to fit the cam. And I know we're gonna run the decompression plate with the cam that we ran. We've got a pinion gear that's affixed and attached, but it looks like there's a little wear, so we're gonna use our pinion gear. The inner cam chest we're also gonna use. We're gonna definitely use the pistons and the cylinders, but we're not gonna get to that for a minute. So let's go ahead and start this reassembly here. I do like that a lot better. You can see some wear on this pinion gear that I'm just not crazy about. It's a good gear, but it's not a perfect gear. And that one was pretty nice. Okay, so back to our self-tightening. Left-hand thread. Excellent. All right, now that's where it kind of starts to happen fast. So we've got our modified decompressor plate. It uses the cam followers, excuse me, to raise the exhaust valves. So this is how you kill the engine on a board track engine. And you can see, well, right now the decompressor cam is out, but so when you rotate the decompressor cam, it actually lifts the exhaust valves and kills your compression. So that's how you shut the bike off. When you got a no brakes, no clutch bike, it's just easier to do it that way because you can't disengage the drive. So hitting the kill switch, you're still turning that motor over and drawing fuel into the carburetor. You're just nixing the spark. With this, you're decompressing the engine, so it spins over much easier. Exhaust cam followers. Cam. Lined up with our pinion gear. Bingo. Okay, breather gear. This motor's been waiting 5 years to get used. It's been sitting over there.
Now is the time.
All that time, man. Okay, so breather gear's timed. Timing mark here. And then the breather gear, there's a notch on the case where they time that. Okay, so here we go. Good stuff. Point's starting to break. Flashlight.
Yep. He beat me last time.
Wait, you have a flashlight?
I do.
Oh.
No thanks to a Streamlight sponsorship, but Amazon.
Cylinders, what do they look like on the inside is the question. No, there's a little scuffage there. That side's not as bad. Okay, 1, 2, and then the valve and this. Clean this cylinder up. Hopefully it cleans up in a few thousandths, and that's just like a little bit of aluminum scuffage on the walls there. But we shall see. I think we're gonna be set. Okay. Let's do a little valve lap here and just touch that seat up. We'll clean up on the seat. Beautiful. Nice thin little valve seat too. Can you see the lightness?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love it. Walk it the last little bit. Okay. Back to the hone. Man, I had the best dream last night. I had the best dream last night. I was in Texas picking the ultimate motorcycle pile. I'm serious. It was amazing. Like, there were 2 barrel carburetors. There was a DAH tank in original paint, green and black, and he had $50 on it. Okay, valves back together, that's good. Okay, second cylinder done. We got the table cleaned up. What we're gonna do, Chris, is let's move this over. Hey there, kiddo.
Hi, Dad.
What's happening?
I'm ready to work.
You ready to work? Excellent. Well, we're working on your race bike, or your future race bike. Okay, so we got the lower end back together.
Look at that.
Yep, that's it. So no brakes, no clutch, direct drive, 1,000 cc's. You think you can ride it?
Probably.
All right, I love it. Good stuff. So, okay, what we're doing is we're putting the motor back together. We got everything cleaned up, lower ends together, guys. Cylinders are set up. We got new pistons. You guys remember these old ones are almost good enough, but they've got a little bit of scoring, and with as much metal as was crushed in that lower end, we went and put a fresh finish on the cylinders. And now Evie's gonna show us how to put this thing back together. So I'm conflicted about switching the lower end in the race bike, but for sake of expediency, and we've got a mission to do, we gotta be at this race tomorrow, we're gonna go ahead and switch the cases in the crank out. But it's all together, as you guys can see. Check it out, everything's spinning. We're mostly timed. I'm gonna go ahead and do a final time once we get the cylinder on and we can measure from top dead center. So we got new Ross Racing pistons. These are my special concoction, custom made piston of our own design. And we're gonna go ahead and get each of these cylinders installed, sweetheart, so we can have you help us get that thing back in the engine. So Evie's been doing a science project in school. What's your science project about?
How motorcycles work.
How motorcycles work. She had three questions to answer. First question
was how motors work.
How motors work. So we started learning about what did we learn about? The strokes? What are...
Intake, compression, combustion, exhaust.
Right, I love it. What happens during the intake stroke?
It takes in the fuel and the air.
Beautiful. What happens during the compression stroke?
It carries the air up and it squeezes it.
And it squeezes it. Combustion stroke?
It explodes.
Yep. And creates the power. And then exhaust stroke, what happens?
It lets all the heat out.
Bada bing, bada boom. See, she's a pro. Okay, so and what converts up and down motion in an engine to round and round?
Crankshaft.
A crankshaft, that's right. So that's what we got going on here.
That's
we got
what, like, that spinny thingy?
Yep, the flywheels, connecting rods, some shafts, crank pin, bearings, all that makes up your crankshaft. Spins all these gears, which is something we hadn't got to yet. So anyway, let's go ahead and see what we've got here. Chris, if you wouldn't mind, let's do wash that one and then come back and we'll wash this one. Look at those little tiny skinny flywheels. Ooh-wee. So Evie, the lighter the flywheel, the faster the RPMs, faster it revs up, okay? So what that means is acceleration, okay? So we want our race bikes to accelerate fast. So we lighten up those flywheels. There's two types of moving parts in engines. There's back and forth weight, pistons, valves, stuff like that. And then there's round and round weight, flywheels, gears, stuff like that. Back and forth weight is directly tied to horsepower. So that when you can lighten up things moving back and forth, you get more power. Yeah. And then you got round and round weight, which is acceleration.
Say that last thing again.
What's that? Yeah. You got that? Got it. You got taking notes? Taking notes? It snapped right in and it feels good. We got a little bit of float back and forth with that wrist pin. Yeah, I was also thinking of how lucky we actually got not having to take any more out of those cylinders because the new pistons are set up to be with this crank. This crank is balanced for standard bore pistons. Yeah. So if we'd had to take 10 out, we would have had to do some lightening of the other new piston. So, okay, we got rings, and let's grab the rear cylinder, if you would, Chris. Yep. These are actual Ross piston rings, so specially made by the piston company for these pistons. And I don't use the oil rings, so that's one of the things. You get a couple different schools of thought. Some guys like to use an oil ring. I don't use an oil ring. They give us those big, heavy-duty 3-piece oil rings, and they are a lot of tension, and main reason, though, is that these engines are designed to consume oil, and with the oil ring, they can't actually consume oil. Oh, wow, that's a beautiful 16 thousandths. That's great. So top ring, 16 thousandths.
Was it this bike that you won the trophy up in our house?
This is the bike I won the trophy at our house. So what year was that, Evie?
I don't.
Sons of Speed.
I remember it.
Being end
I remember
gap.
seeing your race.
Okay. Great. Uno, good. Okay, so we got one, we got two. The beauty of these is we can tighten both down at the same time and be able to fit that manifold in really nicely. Oh, yeah. Glorious. Two. Piston numero dos. Yes. It's perfect. Okay, cylinder number 2. Now those are not 15 thousandths. I can already see it. So we're gonna need a file.
Is this the file you're looking for?
This guy. Okay, that's 15. On the nose, okay. All right, so where are we at? Second groove, down. 2. Okay. First one back here. Come on down. There we go. Oh, yes. Now we get the manifold in here. 36-9 knucklehead manifold.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been extended and then trimmed to be the same size as the intake ports. But we cut the flange off and put a 4-bolt flange instead of a 3-bolt flange. So just in this manifold, there's 5 different pieces, 4 different pieces. And then the aluminum MR carburetor, which is the most baddest carburetor that you can use. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get those snugged. Once upon a time,
In a machine, in a mechanic shop not so far away.
there was a little girl who raced motorcycles.
And 2 guys who don't know math.
I like it. Oh yeah, oh yeah. All right, now let's go ahead and time the engine.
Okay.
Okay, intake valve's closing, which means we're on what stroke when the intake valve is closed and the piston's coming back up?
Compression.
That's right. Compression stroke, let's find top dead center. Okay, there's top dead center. And then we want to go 1/2 inch before top dead center. Okay, so that's 1/2 inch before top dead center. What you're gonna be looking for is the points to break on this lobe, okay?
Yep.
Hold that guy right where it's at. So let's see where that's at. How broke are they? Just barely. I like that. I like it a lot. Was in the back. Okay. 1. Push rods. Let's go with the little ones. Let's go with the little ones since I know I broke the one. Let's not do that again. That one was for the rear. Okay. So we're gonna go try and lift this motor in and get the bolts put in and get everything in the top motor mounts. The top motor mounts, see what I'm concerned about is I've got several spacers here.
Yeah.
And we're gonna wanna make sure when we fish that thing up there that everything's in the right order. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, I like that. One more. Okay, Ready? Okay. There. Can you get it through? Yeah, you got it, kid. That's great. What do we got here? Or like a glove. Yep, all right. Pipes are on. Keystone plates are all tight. Throttle adjustment. So back it off all the way.
That's all the way, okay.
Yeah. Let's get those plugs back in. One. And you got that plug wrench too.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, man. You know, the best part about putting one back together like this is generally there's not any extra parts. Hopefully there's not any extra parts. Okay, we're looking for 4 ounces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 39, 40, 41, 42, 44, 45. 1, 2, 3, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40. Okay, perfect. Yes, man, we get to hear a fresh motor run, kind of. A fresh lower end. I'm gonna need to wash my hands too, knowing that we're gonna flick start this thing. Okay, fire this bad boy up. Bring her down. In fact, we'll take it off of the lift too, because it'll be easy to fire on the ground. Yep. All right. Okay. Well, Chris, we know we got to have you over on this side retarding the spark.
Yep.
Yep, you got it? All right, you ready, kiddo? Mm-hmm. Okay, here it is. We'll do a little bit of...
So once it fires, let go?
Yeah. Here it is. Open her up. How many pulls? Any guesses? 2 pulls. I like how you think.
Nice.
I like it. Good stuff. 10 degrees difference. 10 degrees. It's a 10. It's a 10. Let's go to the races. All right.
You're gonna do it? You're gonna beat him?
All right. There we go. Big success. Okay, guys. 1924, 1922. Now it's a 22. 1922 Harley half-mile racer, little tiny short couple wheelbase. As you can hear, the thing makes all kinds of noise. We're gonna take this thing out to the track, see what it'll do, and hopefully we won't be busting up any bearing cages again. Thanks for hanging with us, guys. Make sure you check out either one of these 2 shows, and we'll catch you next time around at Wheels Through Time. What do you think, kiddo?
That was fun.
That was fun. Thing's loud, isn't it?
What do you think, kiddo?
What do you think, kiddo?
It's fun.